Dallas Cowboys securing a very, we're going to use the word controversial win over the Detroit Lions. My blood pressure was spiking on this one. They go for two. They get it. They throw it to the lineman. We see him report. Obviously, looked like the ref didn't hear him, didn't see him, line of sight kind of thing. Then they go for it. They get it. They go for it again. They don't get it. But I want to say Micah Parsons jumps offside or someone jumps offside. There, yeah. And then they go for it again. Love Dan Campbell. Dude's got some cojones for trying to go for it from that far out. But couple of quick thoughts here from me. One, they got robbed. Two, because I think that they did report. Two, I don't think Dan Campbell should have gone for it the second and third time. I think at that point, as soon as you get backed up, I get it. You're pissed off. You're trying to win on the road. But the thing is, in my opinion, you outplayed the Dallas Cowboys the entire game. They only had a couple big plays. Why would you not want to go to overtime with them? I get what he was doing. I get the first initial go for it. But once you get backed up, you got to stop. You got to just go ahead and kick it and go to overtime. What's your thoughts here? One, did they get robbed? And two, do you agree with Dan Campbell going for it the second and third time?
I mean, overall, that officiating crew was just god-awful that game. I mean, the only reason that we were even talking about this is because they had a missed tripping call. You're going to call it tripping? This ain't hockey. This is an NFL. Come on now.
Seriously.
But, I mean, we have multiple camera angles where Goff, first of all, sent 68 over to go to him, and then you get the overhead camera view where you see him right there. It looked like maybe the ref had turned away, but as a ref, you have to know that. And Dan Campbell also came out and said before the game, he had sat down with the referees and told them the specific play and who was going to be reporting. Well, that's crazy. Yep. Unbelievable.
Did you see him screaming? He was like, I told you. I told you it was coming. Like, oh, man. Oh,
and that officiating crew, the entire officiating crew, I just want to point out, is out for the 2024 playoffs. They have immediately, the NFL announced they have been denounced. They were supposed to do, I believe, a wild card game. They will no longer be doing that game. So at least there's a little bit, of at least a little bit of a reaction by the NFL kind of stepping in. I feel like that happens pretty infrequently in this league. So that at least that's good to see. As for the decision to go for it, I completely agree with them. Because
even after the penalty.
Absolutely. Because what do you have to lose there? You have the division locked up. You're guaranteed a home playoff game on Super Wildcard weekend. The only thing you could have done is advance maybe a little bit up in the seeding so you get a more favorable matchup. And also, when you're this late in the season, risking going to another quarter when you have your starters out there, like who knows, injury-wise, I think he said, we're going to get this thing done. Either way, this thing is going to end in regulation. We're going to go into Week 18 feeling really good about ourselves and get ready for the playoffs. I think it was a great call by him, and it's one of those calls that if it goes the right way, he is called a freaking genius across the league.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the one thing I think people forget. I'm glad you said that because you're right. People always, when you go for it and you don't get it, it's what an idiot. But when you get it, you're the coolest guy in the room, right? So it's tough for me because I love the first call. He basically made it sound like we literally knew this was coming. We planned for this. We were ready for this, and we ran our play. Every team has our this is going to work play. That was their play. And once they didn't get that play, now you're running a one offensive play from what? The 7-yard line-ish. You're running one play against a very good defense in their house when you're already frustrated and pissed off from what happened 20 seconds ago. I don't know. I don't know if Dan Campbell could have took a timeout at that point. I just wish they would have. I don't think they ever got to calm down. Goff was pissed. The line was pissed. Campbell's screaming. And then they're out. They looked to me like they were just scrambling, trying to get something together. And that's why I didn't like it. I agree with you, though. Situation-wise, it was the right decision. And it was the right decision the first time. I'm just saying, I do think getting a win there is huge for your team. It's huge for momentum. And I do think if they would have gone to overtime, I genuinely believe in the back of my heart they were going to win that football game just because Goff outplayed Dak. The Lions defense shockingly outplayed the Cowboys defense. Everything was in their favor there except for the referees. So I don't know, man. I feel bad for them. They got robbed. I'm so glad Dan Campbell pulled the Dan Campbell in the post-game presser and was just like, you know what, Dan, I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm just pissed off because I hate losing. That's my head coach right there. I
No,
love that
absolutely.
guy. I can't wait to see them in the playoffs. But hey, guys, enough of them. Anthony, I do, man, want to talk about what happened this weekend in a very, very depressing football